Our next guest is nothing short of a rock and roll legend who's been living on a prayer and giving love a bad name for over 40 years. He's now teaming up with the likes of Robbie Williams and Bruce Springsteen on his new album, Forever, the Legendary Edition, which is out today. So let's say hello, V, and welcome to the show, V, Jon Bon Jovi!
Look at him! Look at him as I live and breathe. It's Jon Bon Jovi.
Goodness,
How are you,
brother.
mate?
So happy to be here to see you.
I'm so happy to see. We both said, we won't say what, but we both said exactly the same thing to each other, didn't we?
It's true. How are we still standing here?
Oh, jeez, man. Tour, it's happening. This tour is happening. There are gigs all over the world. There's a residency in Madison Square Gardens in New York. Can you get me in?
Absolutely.
I am coming.
I got your tambourine tuned. We got you, man.
I would love to come.
Yeah.
So this is the tour that may not have happened because... just tell us about the Top C. You've got to get to the Top C, and there's been a documentary about the Top. Let's call it the Top C chat, shall we?
Yeah, let us. You know what? When we released the album, and I came to see you a little over a year ago, I was I was really looking forward to releasing the record and the documentary celebrating the 40th anniversary. But once we started to really get close, I said to the guys, I'm just not up to it physically. And it was breaking my heart, but the recovery after the surgery just wasn't there yet.
Right.
And, I had to wait.
Yeah, and so where were you on the journey to, excuse me, ironically,
there you go.
The Top C? I mean, you were 80% of your 100%, is what I'm hearing?
Then...
Yeah.
Oh, I even on the days when I would think it was great, my innermost circle would say, we're not there yet, boss.
Right.
And that's okay that I felt it was better than they did because it just kept me pushing forward.
And was there a moment that you realized it was all good?
I feel that since late spring of this year, something just went like something opened up, something just changed.
I heard about it because even if you're there physically and vocally, if you're not there mentally, you got to be.
That's the third hurdle.
Yeah, and was there a night at an awards show and it clicked with you?
I did like the Latin Grammys with Pitbull because he had rediscovered It's My Life and had a hit, right, with Now or Never. But I went and did that with him. And even singing that, I heard it come out of my mouth. I was like, that's him, which meant, me in the third person. And I was like, there it is. And little by little it came back. Because then, we also have a reputation of doing 2.5 or 3 hour shows. You've got to do that all night long.
And there was no chance of you ever sort of going down in the register.
I didn't want to do that.
No, you didn't want to do it, did you?
I'm holding that high standard.
Yeah.
And again, our reputation was built on being a live band.
Yeah. And you said you'd rather sit at home and watch YouTube than phone it in.
It's just not going to happen. I mean, I'd rather not. We've had enough of a history. Our legacy is what it is. I don't need to be out there for the applause.
Yeah. You just want to get out and give it all the beans.
Everything.
And so tell us about that sort of, it's still like an athlete getting back to fitness,
Absolutely.
Isn't it? And so the band came round and you do like a 2-hour session, a 4-hour session, then a couple of days. How was that?
We still do it.
Right.
Monthly, they'll come in for 3 days and we treat it like it's a week of touring. And then they go away and the other 3 weeks, it's me doing it without them.
Right.
So I have a full stadium show, my in-ears, my guitars, everything. And it's like I do it without them, and then I bring them back in, and then they go home, and then they bring them, and we mark the progress.
See, and so you have a room where you are Jon Bon Jovi. That's
yeah. Show for one.
And is there like a mirror there, or not to do with any kind of vanity, but just like to make sure you're getting it all right?
Yeah.
It's so funny, isn't it? Because you got to nail it.
You're by yourself because there is muscles involved in it. So
what's the longest layoff you've had in between gigs?
Oh yeah, real gigs.
Yeah.
This is the longest. It's been over 3 years.
But when you were acting, did you take the whole 5-6 years off music then, or?
Gee, Chris, you're right. 97, 8, 9. Well, yeah, maybe it was about the same amount of time. You're absolutely right.
And that was because you said you can't do both because it's not fair on the acting fraternity. You wanted to respect that craft.
I had to study the acting, and I was enjoying it immensely. And it also gave Richie a chance to do solo records and David to learn how to start writing for Broadway. But that was a very conscious effort. Yeah.
What did you learn out of your comfort zone that you brought back into rock and roll?
Oh, a lot. You know, humility it was at the top of that list, because when you're an actor and you didn't create the material, you're waiting out in the lobby just to be called in for the opportunity to fail. You know, and when you write the song, you know, good, bad, or indifferent, it's yours. You know, you sort of create the template. So the acting thing was also a way to grow in the arts, gave me material to write songs with, helped me grow as a performer, simply because, you know, I was out there starting from scratch with all the world experience of playing on the biggest stages that there are.
And of course, we've had COVID as well, and you wrote an album in COVID, in lockdown, and that was very therapeutic for you.
It was. You know, I was the narrator. I was the storyteller during the 2020 record, and I really couldn't support it, but it gave me the opportunity as that storyteller to get a lot deeper. You know, you're writing American Reckoning and Lower the Flag and Unbroken and songs about soldiers with PTSD. It's not exactly It's My Life, you know? So, but that record was important for me.
And you're putting more weight on the bar, aren't you, in the gym?
I loved it. I really loved, you know, just sort of putting on my fedora hat and being a reporter, you know? But you couldn't go out there and expect the joyous Bon Jovi show of Wembley Stadium, you know, singing American Reckoning. But that record was important to the continuation.
Well, we can now, can't we? Because we've got these dates to look forward to. Tickets available via general sale a week on Friday.
Where are we playing?
I can tell you where you're playing, John. In fact, I'll drive you there myself if you like. You're playing, first of all, you're playing New York. We'll get back to that.
Sure.
I'm very excited about the New York gigs. You're playing Edinburgh, Scottish Gas Murrayfield Stadium, August 28th. August 30th, Dublin, Croke Park. September 4, Wembley Stadium, London. Every time you come on, we talk about the Wembley story.
Amen.
Your claim to fame to do with Wembley is?
Well, we were meant to open the new Wembley Stadium because we had closed the old one doing multiple nights, and the deal was we would do both. I went as far as to get on the train, went all the way there, stood for the pictures with the arch in the background. Oops, they forgot to tell me the building wasn't finished. So we had 2 sold-out nights and nowhere to go. So I ended up back at Milton Keynes.
Well, I'll tell you, we've had some amazing gigs this year, obviously.
Yes.
You know, Oasis played, I think, 9 or 10 nights at Wembley.
Wow.
We saw them late in September. It was beautiful. Did you hear about all that? Did you go?
I went in New Jersey.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I went in New Jersey.
Tell me about your Oasis experience.
Well, I enjoyed it immensely, but also I needed to go and smell a rock and roll band, you know? I just needed to be out there and see what a rock band looked like on a stage again. And yes, they were at my house in, you know, not my home, my New Jersey, my Met Life. And so I went,
What was it like? What is it like for a bona fide AAA rock star? I'll say that because you won't, but it's true. To go and see a AAA rock star.
I enjoy, you know, seeing shows all the time. But they were really good. They played great. They sang great. They sounded great. And like I said, this was a much bigger venue than they've ever played in America.
Yeah, and they sold out, didn't they?
Yeah,
they
2 nights.
It.
They did 2 nights.
Did you see them back in the day, or was that the first time for Oasis?
First time I saw them live.
Yeah. Interesting.
No, they were really good.
Did you learn anything, but did you notice anything particularly?
You know what? That people really want a rock band again. You know, no dancers, no tricks, no loops, no recorded stuff. They wanted to hear a rock band.
Yeah. And what did you think of the playing? Noel's playing.
Oh no, I'm telling you, the guitar tones alone were worth the price of admission. That and they both sang great. And you know, the songs that the Americans know, you got to remember now, they're not as well known in America. And I don't mean that in any derogatory way. You know, like a third of the material, the general punter, not me. I know all the songs, but and the audiences ate it up. They loved it.
When we were at Wembley, I've never heard a crowd louder ever.
Oh wow!
Ever, and you can turn the amplifiers up and down. You can't really turn a crowd up and down. It's so loud.
So beautiful to hear.
Oh my God.
That's great.
What about you and loud gigs? When you, I mean, certain stadiums are better designed acoustically than others. And what I love about certain modern sports stadiums, I don't know if you know this, but they design the end of the stadium for the away fans to be less noisy than the home fans.
Oh, is that true?
They open the roof up so the sound disappears.
Oh, right.
And they focus the.
All right.
But
see,
of course,
your stadiums are designed differently because we don't worry about having the away team over there.
Because you don't have away teams, do you? Really?
Well, we do. You know, they travel.
Yeah.
But we don't have to put them, you know, in a fenced-in area.
Yeah,
on the other,
it is different
because of the competition. You know, that kind of interspersed. We all get around each other.
Tell us about this residency at Madison Square Gardens, because residencies are the new thing, which is, of course, how rock and roll started. It's how the Beatles started in Hamburg in the Reeperbahn.
Well, that's true.
Two shows a day,
That's
16
true.
shows a week. And Springsteen played Broadway. It's more of a theatrical show. The Sphere has its residencies. We have residencies here at the O2.
Yeah.
Las Vegas has its residencies.
Yeah.
Tell us about the whole thought process there.
Well, when we opened the O2, remember, I'm the one that opened the O2. And we did, 12 or 15 nights. I loved going to the office, going back to the hotel, going down the water. We took the
River taxi.
the Thames, and went down to the venue via taxi. And I felt like James Bond. And I said, this is good, if and when we can do this again. So the idea of starting this tour in a familiar environment like the Garden and sleeping in my own bed, I was like, check. This is the way to go.
Okay, so how far do you live from Madison Square Gardens?
Oh, within the hour, with traffic.
And what's on your mind writing-wise now? Because you're loving your 60s, aren't you? You're owning your 60s. Oh, I thought you were.
No.
Tell me about that.
But it's a you know what? I hope you'll agree with this. The 60s are a time for wisdom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've run the gamut. We've seen everything, and we've seen it come around a second time.
Yeah.
So everything should be about joy, with a viewpoint of wisdom. You know, I mean, we're still us, right? I'm not on the comeback tour or anything like that.
Yeah.
So there's a wisdom in that, and now that I'm healthy again, I really look forward to sharing that joy with the idea that I've been here before. I'm going to be able to really take everything in.
Yeah.
And that's good. I'm not chasing rainbows.
Yeah, or chasing hungry ghosts and all that kind of stuff.
No.
But there will be a different kind of gratitude now, though, won't
Most
there?
definitely.
Tell me about that.
You think about it, when you have a career this long at this level, there are different phases and stages, and we had been written off in the early 90s to grunge. Well, we survived it. The 2000 comes along after making a bunch of movies. They're like, oh no, they're too old now. Well, It's My Life comes out, we do it again. And on and on and on. So now these days they're like, well, what has he got left to say? At this viewpoint, I think it is a unique perspective, and joy really is at the forefront of it all. So I get to be that guy that holds the light, but the light that's reflected off that audience, I get to bask in their light. And that's really what it is. It's an interchange of energy.
And I think you've always been comfortable on stage.
Oh, sure.
You'll be more comfortable than ever now. But of course, that wobble with your voice. Tell us about the insecurities there. You had to zoom out and look at yourself and
sure.
Like, what if this is it?
Yeah. I'm not that guy that was built and sent out because of vanity and the applause. It really was never my motivator. I enjoyed performing. I happened to get quite good at it, but in doing so, that the songs could live forever.
Yeah.
I don't need the applause. Only if you're healthy, so you can enjoy it, because the pain of not doing it well is just not worth doing it.
Yeah. And if we go back to not the beginning, but a couple of albums after you started on your own, You Give Love a Bad Name was the first single.
On the third album.
And Living on a Prayer was the second.
Correct.
And you weren't sure about Living on a Prayer.
Sure. Now that you got to remember that the day we write Prayer, it's not dissimilar to this setup. You have an acoustic guitar and a little teeny keyboard that you guys have in the back of your studio here today. So the infamous bass line wasn't yet developed. We wrote the lyric, we wrote the melody, we wrote the chord progression, it was finished. So I thought, well, this is a complete story, it's good. It was when we went in to rehearse it with the band and work it up, and then we developed that bass line, and then ultimately, like the high note at the end of the second chorus and the key change, that we went, wow, listen to that energy. And it also didn't sound like anything else on the radio. Bad Name, we felt great about as a radio song. We thought it was going to take us to that next level. It was evident and obvious. Wanted, Dead or Alive, same kind of thing. But with Prayer, it was like, this doesn't sound like fill in the blank. It didn't sound like anything. Who knew? And we created something that was big.
And you didn't know yourself?
No.
So you thought Bad Thing was more of a sure thing? than living on
Yeah,
a prayer.
if you think about what was on the radio at the time, there was a band called Power Station, Robert Palmer.
Yeah, I remember.
Addicted to Love. You heard I Love Rock and Roll, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts doing
Yeah.
Gary Glitter. You said Bad Name fits in that mold. Prayer didn't sound like anything else on the radio.
Tell us about this, because you're back in, you're back on home turf, playing at home, Madison Square Gardens. Tell us about those first gigs back in New Jersey. And you said you could either, as a kid where you're from, as a boy where you're from, you could dream about being either a baseball player, a rock star, or an astronaut.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was right down the street from where we lived, the impossible seemed possible.
Yeah.
We could look across, as we call it, the pond, to our posters on the wall of Led Zeppelin, but it was too big to ever fathom.
Yeah.
Whereas down the street, 25 miles to our south, Bruce and the E Street Band were 3 records in my teenage years. Southside Johnny was just starting his first and second records. So you could drive 25 miles and see one of 17 members of those 2 bands.
Yeah.
So you'd run into them and you could touch, Jesus and the apostles.
What was that scene like?
It was cool because it was also very supportive of original music. They were looking for the next. Granted, I was 10 years younger, so I was not even on the radar yet. But at that time, the scene was hot because they were looking for the next guy.
And is it true that you still have the same contract?
I do, 43 years later.
What is that about? Just give me more of that.
Well, we've been blessed, I mean, we're one of the biggest selling bands on Universal, period.
No, I know, but how is the contract the same today as it was?
Oh, well, they have to keep, bringing in wheelbarrows full of gold, but
it's not exactly the same.
No. It's not, it's the same. I never lost my record. We're us, but they have to bring in,
without getting into the weeds, the financial weeds, right? The devil's in the detail. What have the quantum shifts in that journey been like?
Oh, after Slippery When Wet, they were like, oh man, and then by the time of the Crush, they had to back up the wheelbarrow again, and then it just got to a point where you keep it all and just tell people that we're still working with you.
Oh my gosh!
No, it's great.
Is it possible? I know this is a stupid question. I am aware that this is a stupid question. Is it possible that you can be too successful for the sake of your record company?
Well, we love our record company, and the truth is that the business has changed. So for kids today starting out, it's not bad. It's just very different.
Right.
You got to remember, in 1983, Chris, and you more than anyone will understand this, I knocked on the glass of a brand new radio station because I knew that there was no one more passionate about music than a DJ.
Yeah.
You're in here by your lonesome, telling the world, listen to this record. So that's what I thought as a kid, and I was smart enough to figure that out.
How old were you then in 83?
21.
Right. So because you started playing the clubs when you were 16, because in New Jersey, not the liquor license, but the drinking age. 18.
So you could sneak in and pretend to be. And licenses, which was how they would ID you, were made of paper.
Right.
So you could, just scribble on it or mush it in your pocket and smear the ink.
What was the first tipping point for you in those formative years?
When you're 16 and you're playing in that famous bar that supported original music, you thought you'd made it. Even though you were, you were nothing to nothing, but you thought that was the big time. And when you're that young, that naivete fuels you. So by the time I'm 21 and you're at Runaway, things start to change.
Yeah.
So even though it's still a nothing, you think it's the big time.
Yeah.
Coming to London at 21 years old and opening for Kiss, you thought you made it.
Yeah. Did you get to go on that plane?
Yeah. No.
Because we sadly lost Ace Frehley, didn't we, just a few days ago? Mm-hmm. And I remember Kiss
we weren't on a
being the first sort of 747 size commercial airliner with the band's name on the side.
Well, for me, it was watching Led Zeppelin, but when we opened for Kiss in 1984, they had just come out with no makeup on, and my first recollection was playing a very small venue in Brighton where Gene Simmons was literally painting with spray paint the set because it didn't look good enough for him, and it was a small venue, and he's out there. I'm like, nice to meet you.
Was that your first ever gig?
for meeting. Yeah, over here with him.
No way.
Yeah, in 1984,
What
the
was that
fall
like?
of 1984.
Well, what happened next? Were you in a van? What was going on?
I think we had one of those cheap old European tour buses that,
Right.
if you remember, they would just black out the windows and they weren't safe.
And you tried LA, you tried Malibu for a bit.
Yuck.
What,
Not for me. I mean, we realized very early
was
on.
that mid '80s as well? Or?
No, that was early 90s.
Right.
And I realized it's just not the community for me. So I know what you're referencing. In the first two records, we would tour with a lot of those LA bands, and we realized this isn't the place for us. This isn't the scene for us. Go home and create, identify who you are. And that was Slippery When Wet. But then I bought a house out there, and again, I revisited it. But I said, not for me.
How long did that take for you to sit there and realize, that's specification, but I'm not that kind of guy.
We owned that house for 5 or 7 years. It was a place to visit, but everyone's looking over your shoulder at all times. That's Hollywood. It's very Hollywood. That's not New Jersey. We realized it wasn't a home, it was a house, and then we realized it wasn't even a place to want to go.
And you've always been okay. Obviously, you've been married to your wife forever.
Yeah, 36 years and counting.
36. Round of applause. Come on.
Amen.
The amazing
Come on.
Dorothea. And she has been the angel on both your shoulders. Angel on both shoulders.
Most definitely. Yeah. I got that one right the first time. Thank God. Yeah. No, we've been together 45 years now.
Wow.
I'm very happy.
And you have said, sometimes you've been lying in the gutter, and she's known why you're there and known how to pick you up.
Yeah, even in this, latest situation with The Voice, there was somebody that had to help you, when you're at your lowest. People may think that, oh boy, isn't his life grand? He's sitting behind the microphone. It was emotionally very tough. You got to have somebody to support you.
When you're about to embark upon another tour, you've had denser times as far as tour dates are concerned. Does it smell the same? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it will.
Does life smell the same now doing this, selling tickets? It's like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah. There's a bit of that anticipation of putting a show on sale. You never know.
Oh, I think you're going to be
You don't
fine.
know. You don't know.
I think we know, John.
But, in the big picture, you just hope that people will understand that this is a we tour. It's not about me. It's about us. It's about us in that audience. It's that connection. That's the only reason I'm doing it.
In Scottish, we mean small.
It does.
It's a wee
Well,
tour.
I was going with the French, and that it means yes, because I thought about that.
I
yes.
love that. All right, and how's the rest of the band? How are they feeling?
They're in varying stages.
Come on now. Give us a minute on each.
Everybody's doing their very best, and some are looking more forward. Like, I think David's outside your control room right now, with his suitcase and a keyboard ready to go. Whereas, other guys are like, okay, we'll go when you say. So, everybody's doing all right, though. We're all right.
When is the first? Are there any warm-up gigs?
I think as we get closer, they'll have to be.
And how are you going to just announce those on the day, or
because
you've done that before?
Yeah. We'll get to that. Right now it's always a show for one at my house 4 times a week. Come on over anytime.
Is it 4 times a week?
Yeah.
And is that it's not weekends, though, I'd imagine.
No weekends. That's right.
No
weekends are for me.
All right, and it's funny, isn't it? Because all the bands now, everybody's like, it's funny. There's loads and loads of gigs and loads of bands playing festivals, but not for the sort of. Not for August, because everybody goes.
I don't mind that rule.
It's changed, hasn't it?
I always liked August off.
When did you? Have you always made it work for you, or when did you?
Oh, it's been a lot of years that we like August off.
Yeah. Did you realise one day? Hang on a minute, we don't have to do this.
We don't have to do this in August,
like we used to.
Yeah, August in New Jersey is pretty good weather.
Yeah, same with Oasis. Oasis just played Friday and Saturday, and then took the rest of the week off.
Well,
because that's all you need to.
That's pretty good.
It's like a eureka rock and roll moment.
It's a different set of rules when you get there, but it's I don't mind taking August off. I'm okay with that.
We had loads and loads of WhatsApps about you this morning. We we have wins of the week. We have what you're looking forward to at the weekend, and we have loads of people doing loads of stuff. Your WhatsApp, John Bon Jovi WhatsApps have equaled all the rest of the, if not beaten all the rest of the shows. And we are busy today, aren't we? We are so busy today. We've had a lady. She's got Bon and Jovi, her Jack Russells. I mean, you must have had lots of pets named after you.
Yes.
Bon Bon and Jovi, who are on the stairs somewhere. I've lost the picture now. We've got a lady who said that when she was 15, she heard on the local radio station that you were playing in a bandstand in Wales, and she bunked off school and she came to see you in a bandstand.
Okay.
Do you remember all the bandstand years?
No, like Doc McGee used to say, Bon Jovi would play a pay toilet and use their own change. We would play anywhere.
There you go. A free gig when I was 15 in Cardiff's bandstand.
I believe it.
All right. More here. Sandy Shanklin on the Isle of Wight says, thank you for having such great guests on the show all the time. Love Jon Bon Jovi. Please tell John that this family are listening and love him forever.
Amen. Thank you.
Sisters, cousins Drew in London, and our kids will be with him at Wembley. If we're lucky enough to get tickets like we've been doing for 40 years, we are getting so many people saying they're going to try and get tickets.
Amen. Thank
you. Is there any chance, any penciled in extra dates perhaps, or
look, this is like, let's get John's feet back in the water and then we'll build on that. Let's just one step at a time.
Just asking on the fans' behalf.
Yeah.
So say the tickets go gangbusters in a minute, which they will. Is there any potential whatsoever, Jon Bon Jovi, of adding dates on this tour?
There's always potential. Just let's shush, Chris. I just got up.
I'm just getting
Be nice.
excited.
I just woke up.
I'm getting excited on behalf of all of you. Claire and George, the cat listening at home, please can you say hi to my hubby Barry, who is a taxi driver.
Hello,
coming
Barry.
back from the airport. He's a huge Jon Bon Jovi fan. Barry the taxi driver.
Hello, Barry the taxi driver, who I absolutely immensely respect because your cab drivers are artists. Having to learn those maps, having to know how to get around town is a gift. They're geniuses.
I hear the Waymos have hit New York. Is that right?
Yeah, they have. And New York is just like, I don't know. It's Mad Max. The cab drivers and the Ubers and the Lyfts and the Waymos and all the electric bikes.
What's the vibe in New York generally at the moment?
It's on fire.
Yeah.
It's not really.
What's the weather like?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Much nicer than most places.
Okay,
right
Debbie
now.
says, my sister Karen and I visited friends in New York in '95. We went to Radio City Music Hall
yes.
to see the MTV Awards red carpet and then heard cheers coming from Times Square. So we followed the crowd, and to our absolute delight, there was Bon Jovi doing a live gig in the middle of Times Square. A memory we will never forget. Those pop-up gigs, top three of those that you've come to mind?
Well, that was a big one. Or I remember the one in Times Square after the 9/11 incident. So we came back in September of 2001. New York allowed 500,000 people as we played in Times Square to bring back the NFL season, jumped on a helicopter, went across the river to Giants Stadium, played halftime for a Giants game, slept in a hotel, took the Concorde here in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
To open the Bounce album.
That is rock and roll. Lucy in Hayward Heath. I saw JBJ in 1996, the Milton Keynes Bowl, with my best friend Lisa. We were 16. Big up to my dear dad who drove all the way there from Sussex, waited for 3 hours in the car and drove us back. No phones. Thousands of people. We agreed to meet after the concert by a tree.
Nice.
It was mind-blowing. That's all the organisation you needed. No spreadsheets.
It's true.
No alarms
It's
going
true.
off. When was the first gig when was your first sort of smart screen gig when you thought, oh, tonight it's changed?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. When people held up their phones and started recording and putting that light instead of a cigarette lighter. It was well into the 2000s. So that was at first very distracting. And, nowadays, everyone's got everything recorded. You can't hold up the Louvre without being recorded.
Yeah,
even the bad guys are,
There's a song in there somewhere, isn't there? All right, I know you got to go. I can't believe that, Lucy and Hayward Heath talking about Milton Keynes Bowl in 1996.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were going for 20 years before that.
Yeah.
We're 30 years on next year when you play these gigs in the UK from Milton Keynes Bowl. I bet it doesn't feel like it, does it?
Blink of an eye, my friend.
Yeah,
it
really is, isn't it? And if you think about the same thing going forward, it sort of doesn't bear thinking about.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, well done, John.
Thank you, Chris.
I think you picked right. Astronaut, baseball player,
Yeah.
rock star. Well done.
I could be an astronaut in the next 30 years. They'll ship us off to Mars to play.
We have a box at Wembley that we're going to auction off for kids' charities in
good.
the UK. Can I put it out there? Can we try and get a meet and greet as part of that? Because that will up the bids.
How
hugely.
about something better, like a signed guitar, or how about I write out the lyrics and give them a one copy of handwritten lyrics
Wow.
to something special, and you pick the song, could be "It's My Life" or "Prayer" or something that would be worth a lot more money
All right, so it's
than a meet and greet.
Alzheimer's and UK Kids Charities.
I love
Box at
that.
Wembley. All right.
I love that.
You're the best John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, Chris.
We're so excited about you
Love
coming
you,
in
babe.
today. Can we hear it for John Bon Jovi? All right. Thank you very much indeed.